Silver is taking off today. It has crossed a key resistance barrier and it continues to move higher. How high can it go? Let's get into it. Buy your gold and silver online from SD Bullion. New customers get gold or silver at spot by visiting sdbullion.com/new. Thank you so much for watching. I do sincerely appreciate it. Here we are looking at silver price. It's currently sitting at $32.91 an ounce. It moved up $1.09 today. This is a massive move for silver for a couple of reasons, but the biggest being it crossed that key resistance barrier of $32.50 an ounce. It has been nudging up against the $32.50 mark several times this year already. You could see back in May it got close again in late May, and then it got really close in September and early October, but now it has broken through that level and it can go much higher now from here. Let's take a quick look at gold. Gold is once again at a new all-time high. It's sitting at $2,726 an ounce. It moved up $28 today, and in fact, gold is only $21 off of its inflation-adjusted all-time high. We're literally $21 away. If we have another move like today, next Monday, then gold will be in new territory. Of course, this is using the government's twisted CPI numbers for inflation. If you use real inflation numbers, people argue that the inflation-adjusted all-time high is closer to $3,500 or $4,000 for gold. But looking at the numbers that the government is giving us, gold is only $21 away from the inflation-adjusted all-time high. Absolute insanity. Let's take a quick look at the gold-silver ratio. You can see it's moving down today. Yesterday, it was at 85. We're now below 83. So this is telling us that, yes, both gold and silver are moving higher. However, silver is moving up much faster than gold, which is why the ratio is going down, although it is still above 80. So when the ratio is above 80, I prefer to buy mostly silver. So my buying strategy has not changed. Silver is still my favorite. And if we just look at the percentage gains, it's pretty easy to tell. Silver up 3.43%, gold up only 1%. So clearly silver is moving up much faster, but why is silver moving up today to begin with? This headline over at Market Watch says new home construction dips in September as builders await rate cuts. So yeah, basically some economic data came out today. It was the new home construction. The numbers were mostly in line with expectations, but they were trending downward. So this is telling the Fed that, hey, the economy isn't doing so great right now, and you probably need to cut rates even more. So it's looking like a rate cut at the next meeting is even more likely now. We can confirm this by looking at the CME Group FedWatch tool. Now, yesterday I showed it was about 10% chance of no rate cut, 90% chance of that 25 basis point rate cut. The numbers have adjusted slightly today after that economic news came out. Now it's only a 7.7% chance that rates will remain the same, 92.3% chance that rates will actually come down again on November 7th. So everything is pointing towards another rate cut at the next meeting. Yes, it's only a 25 basis point rate cut, but rates coming down is good for both gold and silver. One other thing that I want to point out is that the US dollar has gotten weaker today, and typically we will see silver do the opposite of whatever the dollar is doing. So right at 8:30 you can see that big move down. That's when the economic data was released. We'll see what happens moving forward from here. The dollar is sort of right in the middle of that 52-week range. So you can see in the corner of your screen 100 to 107. That's where the dollar's been for the last year. We're sitting at 103.57. So basically right in the middle of that year range. And if the dollar does trend lower from here, I'm expecting much higher prices for silver. Likely we'll see higher prices for gold as well. Gold doesn't always do the opposite of whatever the dollar's doing, but for the most part, it trends inversely with the dollar. Silver is much more inversely correlated. So if the dollar moves down, I certainly expect to see higher silver prices. Not necessarily the case for gold. I think that gold can be influenced to a greater extent by geopolitical issues. So wars going on, I think fear drives a lot of people into gold. And then the other thing is with silver, silver is somewhat of an industrial metal. So we need to take a look at what's going on with the economy, not just here in the United States, but also the economy over in China, because they consume so much silver every single year. The headline of this article over at FX Empire reads, Silver forecast, gold rally, and China stimulus boost silver's breakout potential. If we break it down even further, they write China's economic growth slowed to 4.6% in the third quarter, its weakest pace since early 2023, while consumption and factory output in September beat expectations. The struggling property sector remains a key challenge. Chinese authorities have ramped up stimulus measures, and further action is expected to address the slowdown. Economists suggest that recent measures could help stabilize the economy in the coming quarters, although structural issues in real estate persist. So they have done some stimulus already, but because of this weak growth in Q3, it looks like they might do even more stimulus, which again, this is super bullish for silver. Then they get into some of the geopolitical stuff right here. So they say gold broke through the $2,700 mark for the first time on Friday, reaching an intraday high of $2,714. Rising geopolitical tensions in the Middle East, particularly the conflict between Israel and Hezbollah, have driven investors toward gold as a safe haven. This rally has bolstered silver as well, which tends to follow gold's movements due to its dual role as a precious metal and industrial commodity. Silver benefits from gold's strength, especially during periods of heightened uncertainty, as traders often seek both metals as safe haven assets. That is true. Silver does follow gold a lot of the time, but because silver is more volatile than gold, not only does it follow, but it starts to go much, much faster. I mean, today it's gone up, 3%? Gold went up 1%. Now we get to the technical analysis in that key 3250 resistance level that we've broken past. So check this out. The silver market initially gapped lower to kick off the trading week, but has since rallied to reach the 3250 level. The 3250 level is an area that's been significant resistance previously, and therefore I think we have to pay close attention to how this plays out. The recent action near the 3250 level has been one of pushing the market down, but the resiliency of silver should not be ignored here. It is because of this that I do believe we will eventually break higher and on a daily close above the 3250 level. So they're saying we need to close today above 3250, and if we do, we can break higher. And look, they're calling for $35 silver. So we'll see if we go that high. I mean, I would not be surprised with everything going on right now if we do see $35 silver by the end of the year. So there you have it. Silver has crossed that key resistance barrier, sitting comfortably at $32.95. It is almost at $33 an ounce. The chart just updated. This is the 1 week chart. You could see a week ago it was, $31. So it's gone up almost $2 this week. That's a really big move for silver. It's not that surprising with gold going to an all-time high, continuing to move higher and higher and higher, that we would see silver sort of tag along. Silver seems to be lagging still under 25% of its inflation-adjusted all-time high. So silver has a long way to go. I definitely see a really bright future for silver. But if we do see a pullback, if we see a correction, some dips in the price, you should not be worried. You should take that as a buying opportunity, because ultimately I think over the next few years, few decades, we could see silver go to places we never thought possible. So I'm excited for the future. Let me know what you think of all this price action down below in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next one. Silver Dragons out.